Amy, I have an itch, and it is for a spicy dark romance, and I need one bad.
I have the book for you. It is A Reign of Shadows and Endings by Melissa K. Rorick. It was an instant New York Times bestseller. It was a huge indie hit on BookTok, and I think it is right up your alley.
It seriously has some of my favorite tropes, like shifters, vampires, witches. You know how I feel about vampires. There can never be enough. It has the best morally gray characters, fated mates, meddling gods, forced proximity, touch her and die. One bed, one horse, he falls first, enemies with benefits.
I love enemies with benefits. Don't tell me your feelings at all. Just ravage me, please.
I need to read this immediately.
I love that there's even LGBTQ rep. The series overall features romantic relationships like MFM polyamory, MM, and FM. Give it all to me.
You know how I love to feel devastated by reading a book? A Reign of Shadows and Endings is it.
And if you're like Jack and I and you love special editions, there is a gorgeous deluxe version with stenciled edges, foil details, and full color character arc from Kensington Publishing.
It is, in fact, in my heart currently.
We're so excited to read it, and you can too. You can find A Reign of Shadows and Endings by Melissa K. Rorick wherever books are sold in print and in ebook.
You can also find Melissa online at her website, melissakRorick.com, at Melissa_K_Rorick on Instagram, and at author Melissa K. Rorick on TikTok. That's ROEHRIC.
You're listening to this podcast, so I know you've got a curious mind. Here's a helpful fact that you may not know yet. Drivers who switch and save with Progressive save over $900 on average. They make it super simple. Pop over to Progressive.com, answer some questions, and you'll get a quick quote with coverage options tailored to your choices. Plus, you'll see which discounts you may qualify for, like the online quote discount or savings for paying in full. In fact, 99% of Progressive Auto customers earn at least one discount. See if you could save when you switch to Progressive. You'll feel good about making a savvy choice. Visit Progressive.com and see if you can enjoy a little extra cash back. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. National average 12-month savings of $946 by new customers surveyed who saved with Progressive between June 2024 and May 2025. Potential savings will vary.
This episode is brought to you by Beneful. Dogs of the world, lend me your ears, snoots, and little toe beans. We've been sitting and staying for boring food for too long. It's time to demand high-quality ingredients, fresh from the pantry. Together with Beneful freshly prepared meals, we can start a mealtime revolution. Can I get a woof woof? Kick boring in the bowl with Beneful freshly prepared meals. Visit Purina.com/Beneful to shop now.
Hey there, we're Book Talk for Book Talk with Jack and Amy, your book besties who take the novels you love seriously. This is Jack.
And I'm Amy, and together we mix smart analysis with fandom fun. So let's get into it.
This is our Breadcrumbs and Broomsticks episode where we read your thoughts and interpretations, as well as discuss Breadcrumbs from chapters 51 through 56 of Sarah J. Maas's A Court of Silver Flames.
Before we dive in, don't forget SPILT. Spoilers, perspective and interpretation, language, and themes.
Like all spoilers, all SJM, all book, all other universe, all interviews.
If there is anything SJM related you have not yet touched or read, this is not for you.
You've been warned. Thank you. If you'd like more information, please go back and listen to the start of our Tuesday's episode. And if you want to submit your thoughts for our Breadcrumbs and Broomsticks episode in the future, make sure to follow us on Instagram where we collect listener submissions.
All right, starting with Breadcrumbs in chapter 51. When Gwyn tells Nesta about their evening service, she describes the cavern where the service takes place. Quote, "It was carved by the underground river that flows beneath the mountain, so the walls are smooth as glass, setting up for underground network of tunnels and the river that we see in Flame and Shadow."
And it's actually the Midgard worm that does that.
Yes.
It's the giant worm.
Yeah.
Same chapter, Gwyn tells Nesta where the songs for their service comes from. Quote, some of the songs you'll hear are so ancient they predate the written word. Some of them are so old we didn't even have them in Sangrava. Clotho found them in books shelved beyond level 7. Like the ancient songs Aelin sings in Crown of Midnight at Nehemia's grave, potentially. Also, below level 7 in the library seems to be where all the ancient texts are located. Potentially, we'll see this more in the future.
Maybe.
I think so.
In chapter 52, we finally get a description of Meryl's eyes. Quote, a silver-haired figure stalked down the aisle, a cold wind at her heels, and the others gave her a wide berth. Nesta stiffened as Meryl's twilight-colored eyes settled upon her and narrowed with recognition and hatred. Are her eyes perhaps because she's related to Dorian Ammonon?
I mean, and the silver hair.
Yeah.
Also, the twilight covered, I was also thinking, I'm like, dusk? Mm-hmm. Twilight's a dusk color thing. What the hell? What the hell does twilight eyes? It's just, you're using just words and we're like, ooh, that's a clue, but what does it even look like?
Yeah, no clue.
Same chapter. The evening service before the priestesses begin speaking, quote, a bell rang 7 times somewhere nearby. The number 7 gets referenced quite a bit from here on out. It's tied to Crescent City, which is the holy number, or very important number. They like that number.
They do. There's power in the number 7. Still in chapter 52, during the evening service, Nesta observes that, quote, Gwyn seemed to be shimmering with pride and contentedness. Is it because she's perhaps a light singer?
I forgot what a light singer was.
It's a type of nymph. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's referenced when they go to the Bog of Orid.
Okay.
I'll look it up later.
I mean, that would be interesting because that would make her a nice contrast to our favorite shadow singer.
Yes, I know. This is what all the Gwynreal people cite.
Amy is so over this.
I don't know why you haven't already acknowledged that many times.
I'm a humble being who forgot.
Says the person who just said they're not humble right before we started recording.
That's not documented on the recording. So as far as everyone knows, that's a lie. Gwyn sings a solo at the service. Quote, Nesta had never heard a voice like Gwyn's, by turns trained and wild, as if there was so much sound fighting to break free of Gwyn that she couldn't quite contain it all, as if the sound needed to be loose in the world. Gwyn's voice rose again, holding such a high note it was like a ray of pure light, piercing and summoning. Potentially another light singer clue. Also, I want to know what that sounds like.
Still in chapter 52, while Nesta is listening to the music, quote, the music took form behind Nesta's eyes as the priestesses sang lyrics in languages so old no one voiced them anymore. She saw what the song spoke of, mossy earth and golden sun, clear rivers, and the deep shadows of an ancient forest. Terracin, perhaps? Or maybe even the middle before it became the way it is right now.
Oh, ho, ho, ho. While Nesta scribes for the harp, she sees in her mind's eye the space the harp is in, quote, was carved from black rock. Symbols had been etched into the smooth floor, into curving walls, rising towards a ceiling so high it faded into gloom. Sounds a whole lot like the place under the clock tower in Rifthold that Selena discovers in Crown of Midnight. That's all, Amy. Good job.
Thanks. In chapter 53, when Nesta first arrives at the prison's island, she thinks, quote, the very land seemed abandoned, like something great had once existed here and then vanished, like the land still waited for it to return. We learn more about this in Crescent City.
Nesta remembers the creature that attacked Cassian, whose cell they pass in the prison. Quote, her blood chilled, blue anise, cobalt skin and iron claws, he said. Anise savored eating her prey. So this sounds a lot like the Iron Teeth clan, witch, to Amy, a blue blood witch perhaps, because Anise is pure and chaste.
Because of the cobalt skin.
Oh.
Cobalt is blue.
Are those witches blue?
They're not blue, but it could be like a mutated.
Oh.
That's because the yellow legs have yellow legs.
Shit, do they? I thought they were stockings.
No.
What book was I reading?
So this might also be alluding to folklore/fantasy about a legendary blue-faced witch called Black Anise in English folklore, which is often depicted as a cruel child-eating monster.
Damn.
Still in chapter 53, when Nesta leads the way to the harp through a disguised passage, quote, "I had no idea there was anything else in the prison," Cassian breathed as they continued down another hallway. No doors lined it, just smooth stone. "I thought there were only cells. There's a lot more down here than you realize, including an asteri."
There's another level down. Same chapter, lots more speculation about the prison from Cassian. Quote, "I didn't know places like this existed here. Maybe," he frowned, "part of me wonders if the prison was either built or stocked with its inmates to hide the harp's presence. I wonder if someone hid the harp, knowing that it'd never be noticed with so much awful magic surrounding it." A little too on the nose. A little like, yes, that is in fact what happens in Flame and Shadow and what we discover.
Still in chapter 53, Nesta describes the chamber the heart is waiting in. Quote, "I think these are stars," she breathed, "constellations. And like a golden sun, the harp lay at the center of the system. More Asteri world walking clues that we learn about in Crescent City 3. And I think the constellations are also of Midgard.
Yeah, so when Bryce goes in, like right before she sees the Asteri, she says that like, "Oh my God, these are the constellations from Midgard."
Mm-hmm. That's right. You did just finish listening to the book.
Mm-hmm. I like that's the answer versus me remembering it, because that is true. So when we're with the harp, quote, "The harp sat atop a large rendering of an 8-pointed star. Its cardinal points stretched longer than the other 4, with the harp situated directly in the heart of the star. The hair on the back of her neck stood. She could have sworn the blood in her body reversed course. She had the creeping feeling she'd been brought here." The harp is going to have a very big role in the future, and at the end of Flame and Shadow, Bryce gives Nesta the sword back, not just Azriel's sword, but the other sword. And Nesta goes, "Why?" And Bryce says, "Hey, you have the 8-pointed star. You said you saw it in the vision, and it sounds like there's more for you to come." And I was like, wow, SJM, telling us what's the next book. Yeah, it's funny because everyone's like, who's the next book about? And I'm just like, Nesta. Bryce kind of said so.
Yeah. Yep. Still in the same chapter, quote, "Nesta had the sensation of falling, tumbling through air and stars and time. It was a trap, and our people were too blind to see it. Eons and stars and darkness plunged around her. The Fae clawed at stone, tearing their nails on rock where there had once been a door. But the way back was now forever sealed, and they begged as they tried to pass their children through the solid wall, if only their children could be spared." Is this the same group that Bryce sees in her point of view in Flame and Shadow, or is it perhaps a different group of Fae who were killed?
It's the same group.
It is the same group?
Yeah. I mean, and if there's another group, then damn, this is a cruel bunch.
Yeah.
Nesta names her sword, quote, "Ataraxia," Cassian said again, and Nesta could have sworn the blade hanging from her belt hummed in answer, as if it liked the sound of his voice as much as she did, like how the star sword sings to Bryce. Ataraxia sings to Nesta. And I also love that anything that Nesta creates is also horny for Cassian.
Mm-hmm. I do too.
Pause the mating bond. We'll be right back. Struggling to find the right metabolic wellness support, even when you're doing everything right, has been one of the most frustrating things for me in my health journey.
I've tried other metabolic wellness support providers, and I often feel rejected rather than supported by the process.
That's because Brello is focused on long-term health, longevity, and performance, not quick fixes.
Brello is designed for people who want a more sustainable approach to their metabolic wellness support. Their support helps you focus on habits, education, and structure alongside provider oversight.
Getting my GLP-1 through Brello has been so easy. They make it so effortless, and they provide all the support I need through their app.
Their app is one of a kind in my book because it allows you to track progress, manage reminders, and stay on top of renewals. And if you're like me, managing the renewals is the hardest part.
Everything is managed online, making it easier to stay consistent over time, and medications are delivered to your door. They're so transparent with their pricing with one flat monthly cost. Go to BrelloHealth.com to see if you qualify and explore their GLP-1 plans, starting at $133 per month for your first 3 months, plus access to their app, community, and wellness classes. That's BRELLO health.com.
Any information provided is for informational purposes only and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical consultation, diagnosis, or treatment. All patients must consult with a healthcare provider prior to the prescription or dispensing of any medication, which will be done only pursuant to a valid prescription. Compounded drug products are not FDA approved, and the FDA does not evaluate their safety, effectiveness, or quality. Patients are encouraged to discuss the risks, benefits, and appropriateness of any medications, including compounded products, with their healthcare provider before use. Now moving on to chapter 54. While we are with Lanthus, he tells Nesta, quote, "What are you?" "A witch," she breathed, "from Orid's dark heart." So SJM wants us to understand she's a witch, right? Because it never stops.
It's like
shoving it down our throat.
It really is. When you start like noticing how much she does it, then it's like, we're wrong. We're idiots for not being like, this is canon now.
Mm-hmm.
Lanthus says of the harp, quote, "Everything pays fealty to that harp. Seasons, kingdoms, the order of time and worlds. These are of no consequence to it. And its last string," he laughed, "even death bows to that string." So is the harp the tool to kill Koschei? Potentially. Or is this just foreshadowing Fair's death scene and as she tries to give birth to Nyx and how Nesta will use the harp? Honestly, probably a little bit of both.
SJM certainly leaves it open for that.
I love it. She's just smart. I think that this is one of those takeaways that if anyone wants to write an epic series, which I am taking note of, just leave these grand statements and come back to it as you need it.
Yeah. I just listened to the start of Flame and Shadow this morning and I was like, oh, she definitely planted clues so that if she wants to bring back Cormac, she can.
Yeah. Which is why I'm still on my Cormac's not dead train.
Lanthus says to Cassian and Nesta that, quote, "Based on scent alone, I would say that you two are," and then he gets cut off because he was about to say mates.
Nesta strikes Lanthus with ataraxia, quote, "His black eyes narrowed upon the blade as he hissed. That is not Narbin." The name meant nothing to her. Black eyes, like all the things made by the Asteri in Crescent City. Also, we see Narbin in Flame and Shadow.
Oh, do we?
Narbin is the other blade, I think. We talk about Narbin in Flame and Shadow. I know that.
Okay, interesting. It's mentioned earlier in this book as Amarantha threw it into the sea.
Keep an ear out because I'm pretty sure Narbin's mentioned. Because I have been hearing the name Narbin and thinking that's a dumbass name too many times.
Okay. I'll have to keep an ear out for it.
Narbin sounds like the sword you push into the locker and give it a wedgie and flush their head in the toilet and they get picked on.
Nar, I've been there.
Narbin.
I don't know. That's what I think. Okay. Lanthus tells Nesta, quote, "I rode in the wild hunt before you were even a scrap of existence, bitch from Orid. I summoned the hounds and the world cowered at their baying. I galloped at the head of the hunt and Fae and beast bowed before us." Hounds, we learn, are like the beasts in the Hewn City, which are like Sobex, which are made by the Asteri, I think.
Well, actually, are they made by Hell?
Yeah, I just
put that.
Yeah, I think it's actually Hell. It's not the Asteri.
Yeah, which Hell didn't really dabble too much in here in this world, but he did hook up with Thea. So there's very much, you could have brought her a demon dog as a present. In Lanthus' vision, Nesta sees the trove, but with an addition. Quote, "A fourth object lay on the altar, veiled in shadow, but she couldn't make out more than a gleam of age-worn bone. Bone like a horn, like the kind of thing you burn down and ink into the back of Bryce's back."
When Lanthus is cut down, quote, "Strange black blood spurted from his form because he's perhaps made by the Asteri."
Yep. Nesta thinks about the 26 strings of the harp. Quote, "She didn't know where all 26 strings might take her if she strummed, or if someone made a melody. Does that mean we get to see someone play a melody in the future? I think so.
Why not?
You know, our girl loves music."
True. And why think it if maybe not foreshadowing something?
Because SJM just loves bitches thinking about things.
Moving on to chapter 55. Folks are not convinced that Lanthus told Nesta the truth when he mentions being in the wild hunt. Quote, "On the off chance he was telling the truth, that'd make him more than 15,000 years old." Once again, because the Daglin were there more than 15,000 years ago, aka Asteri, aka he was made by them.
So this is where I get caught. And I think that a lot of authors have screwed themselves on this, which is why when I wrote/am working on my book, I knew what age limit my creatures had and what 100-year mark is equal to what point, what makes them mid-age, whatever. At what point is an average lifespan of the Fae? Because Rhys is 500 years old, and you can't say 1,000 years because that would make him basically mid-age, right? He'd be middle-aged, and we know that he looks like he's in his 30s. So what, maybe 1,500 years old? So then how old? It just feels like 15,000 isn't that many generations back is my only note. I think she could have gone farther.
I don't know. She better have the math somewhere.
I hope so. 15,000 just feels like such a specific number. She might have said 15,000 in ACOTAR and was like, shit, I need that number to work now.
Mm-hmm.
And is like, well, I guess it's 15,000.
Yeah, maybe.
Rhys tells us some more lore. Quote, "The Fae were not the first masters of this world. According to our oldest legends, most now forgotten, we were created by beings who are near gods and monsters, the Daglin. They ruled for millennia and enslaved us and the humans. They were petty and cruel and drank the magic of the land like wine." This is the Asteri before the rebrand.
We get more lore. Quote, "Theon was betrayed by his queen, who had been the leader of her own territory, and by his dearest friend, who was his general. They killed him, taking some of his bloodline's most powerful and precious weapons. And then, out of the chaos that followed, the 7 High Lords rose, and the courts have been in place ever since." We're getting some Queen Thea and Prince Peleus references that we don't actually know is her until later.
Yep.
Flame of Shadow.
Yep. Even more lore. Quote, "The age of legends, the time when this land was full of heroic figures who were keen to hunt down the last members of their former master's race." Maybe this is during Aelin's time by chance, or the same person who tied Koschei to the lake. Either way, this is definitely going to be I think a new lore, a new figure that we're going to get.
I agree. What if one of the POVs we get is one of these old figures that's still around? And that's what surprised SJM.
I like that.
In chapter 56, Nesta thinks about having sex with Cassian while she worries he may tire of her. Quote, "She couldn't imagine tiring of him. Having him over and over only made her need grow, because they are mates."
In Nesta's bedroom, she puts her father's carved rose down on the mantle, quote, "beside a figurine of a supple-bodied woman, her upraised arms clasping a full moon between them, some sort of primal goddess, perhaps even the mother herself." It sounds a lot like Ember Quinlan's necklace in Crescent City of Chthona and Solace, a sun between the mountains. It represents the creation myth of Midgard, a sun setting between 2 mountains, called the Embrace. Since these are kind of sister worlds, of course, this would be like the moon to the sun.
Or perhaps it could be Urd. There's one brief mention of a statue of Urd seen in the Bone Quarter Temple in Crescent City. And Urd is a female statue holding a black metal cauldron/bowl between upraised hands, with symbols, potentially word marks, covering her arms and body.
Yep. This has nothing to do with anything we just read or of what we're about to discuss. So I'm fitting it in here. But as you read or listen to Flame and Shadow, the graphic audio version, I kind of would keep thinking about what SJM was saying about ACOTAR 6, 7, and 8 and how she wants to restructure books. And I think that she heard a lot of the criticism of Flame and Shadow and people saying it just kind of all happened. And I feel like when you look at Sky and Breath, Flame and Shadow, Earth and Blood, it is meant to be read as one continuous piece and not 3 books. And it feels like the entirety of Flame and Shadow is the climax of this larger story. So I hope that people really hear that when they read 6 and 7 and 8. I hope people aren't it feels like it's not done. And it's well, because it's not meant to be separated.
Yeah, and also not be critical of she's spending too much time on this. Where's the climax? Well, this is just the first act of the book, so there wouldn't necessarily be a climax.
Yeah. All right. So we didn't have broomsticks necessarily, but we did get comments and we have DMs. So it's more of like a catching up on DMs and comments. But first, let's peruse some DMs. So this is from Emily, who says, sorry, this is a crazy theory, so bear with me. Gwen and Azriel are mates. Throughout Silver Flames, we see many instances where Gwen and Azriel's attention are focused on each other naturally. I've included some screenshots of some of the instances. Now, this doesn't necessarily indicate them being mates. However, I think it does give a hint into them having some sort of attachment together that is beyond the history of him saving her from Sangreval. My theory is that yes, Azriel and Gwen are mates, and as we know, Elaine and Lucien are mates. My guess is Azriel is aware of the mating bond, Gwen potentially not yet, or isn't ready to accept it. Because of the history Azriel and Gwen have where he was not able to save her from being assaulted, from having her choose to who she lost her virginity to, stripped violently away, Azriel is not comfortable acknowledging the mate bond to Gwen, as this would again be her choice stripped away from her.
Interesting.
I mean, there's definitely tons of instances where like they are just like watching each other, and it's never done in a way of like lustful or romantic. It is definitely like me when I watch random guys at the gym. Sometimes it is lustful, but other times it is like I'm just watching you work and I can appreciate what you're doing.
Yeah. I highlight every time like Gwen does something and Cassian's point of view is like Gwen turned around and watched, or Azriel turned around and watched, or you know, whatever. So there is a lot of that. Totally pick up on it. I want Esham to convince me to like them if she's not going to make it Azriel and Elaine.
Yeah. There's another part, and I didn't highlight because I was like, Amy's over my bullshit. And it is like in this past several chapters where Nesta and Cassian are doing something. And then it's like Gwen decided to stay with Azriel to continue working on.
I highlighted it too, but I was like, I don't want to talk about this.
I looked at it and I was like, I can only push Amy so much, so I'll bring it up now. But it is very entertaining where I think what they're doing is SJM loves a friends base between her couples. And there is no friendship base between Azriel and Elaine. And there is a lot of friendship base between Azriel and Gwen.
Yeah, I don't deny it.
Consider this our trip to the Night Court. We'll be right back. This show is sponsored by Liquid IV.
When I think of spring break, I think of Jac and I senior year Las Vegas. You know what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, but what doesn't stay in Vegas is the hydration our body needs no matter what.
If there's anything that I needed from that trip, it's Liquid IV. And now that I'm older, I really need Liquid IV after going out. I drink Liquid IV's sugar-free hydration multiplier all the time. I'm not even exaggerating.
Liquid IV's hydration multiplier hydrates me better than water alone.
If you're going to Coachella or any music festival, this is the perfect thing to put in your purse because only one stick and 16 ounces of water hydrates faster than water alone. It's powered by LIV, Hydroscience, and an optimized ratio of electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients that turn ordinary water into extraordinary hydration.
Compared to water, Liquid IV delivers longer lasting hydration and retains hydration for up to 4 hours. It's backed by a scientific advisory board with world-renowned researchers to conduct clinical research trials.
And for our vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free girlies, this is perfect for you.
It's always non-GMO and has delicious sugar-free options like mandarin orange, rainbow sherbet, my favorite, mango pineapple, and more.
Soak up unforgettable memories with on-the-go hydration from Liquid IV. Tear pour, live more. Go to liquidiv.com and get 20% off your first purchase with code BookTok at checkout.
That's 20% off your first purchase with code BookTok, BOOKTALK, at liquidiv.com. All right, this is from Erin. Listening to the March 31st Silver Flames episode and wanted to chime in about Nesta the Cauldron and religion. The cauldron is a big old womb. Nesta's reborn from it, surrounded by water. Is her cauldron trauma another way that her mommy issues are being expressed? What? As for her not objecting to the priestesses worshipping the cauldron, worship isn't just for benevolent deities who love you and you love them. Sometimes it is out of appeasement, respect, or fear. The cauldron is a primal force of nature. That is definitely something you'd want to be on the good side of. And since Nesta has intimate knowledge of the cauldron, she'd be in the best place to understand worship of it. Aaron, that's a great point. I think because I don't come from a polytheistic culture, I don't think about it that way. But you know what? You have me convinced. I also love the idea of the cauldron trauma being metaphor for
her mommy issues.
That is fantastic.
Hey, I'm sad I didn't think of it. That's genius.
Yeah, no, it's genius because she hates to love her mom, and it's easier to just hate the cauldron.
And she walked away from her mom with like a strength that she shouldn't have had, or tools that she shouldn't have had, right? And it's the same thing that she's walked away with powers from the cauldron that she shouldn't have had. And when I talk about the things that she walked away from her mom with, the things that she shouldn't have had, it's like the cruelty in the way of like learning how to manipulate people and just general shitty lessons. I'm going to go to one of our videos. Are you team Gwen and Azriel? Someone says, it's funny because I'm like, I just don't like Elaine. And some people do not like that. But someone says, in my opinion, no one of them, Gwen or Elaine, should be with Az. I think that Az should have a combo of them. A little bit of warrior with melancholy soul, or just straight normal girl from a village. I just can't see him with Gwen, who has a shitty memento with a man before Az rescued her, or with Gwen, who is like a flower. She put Gwen twice. We're going to have to decipher. Or with Gwen, who is like a flower with expectations like a fairy princess. We're going to say that's Elaine.
Yeah.
Also, Reese doesn't want Gwen for Azriel. That's Elaine. I don't think this person read what they edited. We all know that Reese says no. It means for no, and it means no for a reason. I like to think that Azriel's shadows are alive. So maybe it's a woman changed into shadows for some reason. What if he's like with one of those, remember the sister shadows? I wonder if he's had a threesome with them. No, that's incest. Individually hooked up with them. Well, so this person says someone completely different. That's their team person. Although if you talk about melancholy heart, every person in this book has a melancholy heart. Don't we all?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to read another comment. And this is, again, people didn't like my shitting on Elaine thing, which it's funny. I've shat on her much more aggressively, but in this video, I just say I don't like her. So this person says, I think we are silly to dislike Elaine until we read her story, because that's how a lot of people used to feel about Nesta too. But I don't think she's a good fit with Az. And I think the three brothers for three sisters trope is just too easy and cheesy, even for SJM. We haven't seen a couple fall in love knowing their mates yet. So I can see her doing a forced proximity vibe with Elaine and Lucian, and them slowly growing on each other and developing a real friendship. Mainly, maybe Tamlin ends up dying and Elaine and Lucian rule the Spring Court together. Az and Elaine will not end up together. I really, really can't see it. Maybe he will with Gwen, but even that I don't feel convinced yet, other than the light singer / shadow singer thing might be cool. The only person I would be interested in Az ending up with is Eris.
So I think my struggle with all of this is the fact that I don't want Elaine to be with Lucian.
Okay.
You know, I would be okay with Elaine ending up with someone not Azriel. I just don't want her to be with Lucian. I just don't think I like the narrative of, even though he didn't mean to, he was part of the trauma and non-consensual destruction of your humanity. And SJM kind of alludes to that in the Call Her Daddy interview, but I'm just like, there's no way you can ever make up for that. And it doesn't matter if Lucian would never do it again, ever. Of course he wouldn't, because he now knows that she's his mate. And don't get me wrong, I am a Lucian stan. Thank you, Gabriel. However, I just think fundamentally it irks me to think that Elaine could get over that abuse, essentially, and be with Lucian.
Here's a question. Have we forgiven Lucian too quickly? I mean, let's all be real here. He was horrible to Farah and the ACOTAR, which, again, thanks to Gabriel, I have a new appreciation for Lucian, but it doesn't change the fact that he did try to get Farah killed. He saw her struggling in book 2 at the beginning, where she's, depressed with Tamlin, and he doesn't do anything. Yeah, and then he goes and helps Elaine get kidnapped. And then once he hears that this woman belongs to him, he's suddenly trying to redeem himself. And we forgive him because he helps Farah get out, and he's just there because his mate's there.
I feel like if we can criticize Cassian for not standing up for Nesta with Rhys, then it's open season for Lucian with Tamlin. Because Lucian always prioritized Tamlin.
Yeah.
Until Elaine became his mate.
Agreed. Absolutely.
And that doesn't mean he changed of his own volition, right? He only changed because fate and biology said, oh, by the way, this woman is yours and she's her sister. I just fundamentally think it's fucked up.
I agree. I'm on board. You're making me also hate it. I could be swayed with them. It would require a lot more apology, a lot more redemption from Lucian. I don't think that Lucian has really redeemed himself beyond, I'm only here because of Elaine. And he said things like that before, where he was like, I'm going there because my mate's there. I'm going there because, maybe he does do the right thing because he knows it's like he learns what the right thing is. But I don't think that he has faced a full reckoning for his actions.
I agree. I think the only way I could stomach it is if Lucian came to the true understanding, I don't deserve her.
Yeah.
I have done nothing and I can do nothing to make up for this. And so I let you go. I will reject the bond because I'm the problem. And then if Elaine chooses him, fine. Don't love it, but fine. I can't until Lucian understands how much he fucked up.
Yeah.
I just can't get over the ownership factor of it.
I'm completely on board. You swayed me.
That's why I'm so strongly pro Elaine Asriel, because Elaine has not shown interest in anyone else.
No, that's fair. I mean, it's funny though, because Asriel says something similar in his secret chapter, which we'll discuss next week, though, where he was like, they each get a sister. Why don't I get a sister?
Yeah. No, I know. It is fucked up on his part too.
Yeah. And you're like, Azzy, Daddy Azzy.
How it works.
No, baby.
Well, he's been traumatized since a young age. Mentally, he might not be any more mature than a child.
So true. I'm just going to read 2 more comments from this video so we can hop away from the video. Someone says, no, why would he be with someone who he doesn't look at with the heat and who he never saw him meet and who lives above in dreams of another woman? Huh? The Elaine foreshadowing and comparisons are all over the place. So this person is just, I think, Asriel and Elaine. And then someone else says, Az needs someone to challenge him and Gwyn is it. As what I see Elaine does not have the wit or will to keep Asriel on his toes. He needs to be pushed out of his comfort zone. So here's what I think is also hard, is that Asriel and Elaine both need the same things to heal, and they can't provide that with each other.
Yeah.
I agree. Asriel needs to be pushed and Elaine needs to be pushed. If you don't have a partner that's willing to push a little bit and help you grow.
Yeah. And it could be Asriel ends up with Gwyn. Elaine ends up with someone else. Maybe Lucian. They do a lot of growing. These Fae live a long time. What if Lucian dies?
We're all okay with it.
And then what if Asriel's like, I am also a widower. Maybe we should get together. I wouldn't be mad about it.
Who's he a widower from? Reese's sister?
Gwyn.
You just killed her off so fast?
She's not my favorite person.
In general?
I have a lot of empathy for her. There's nothing about her that I actually like.
Really? Talk to me more. Unpack this with me.
She's a caricature. Her character is what happened to her. She is not a full-fledged character. In my mind, it's kind of like how Elaine is a caricature.
Yeah.
They're not developed. And I'm not...
I mean, that doesn't mean that that's like a shady thing. It's just like not their book.
No, it's just not their book. And SJM hasn't invested the time into their characters the way that she's invested into Nesta and Feyre, right? I would say the same about Emery. Like, it's not that I dislike them.
They're supporting characters. You don't have an invested interest in them.
Yeah, I'm not invested.
No, that's fair. I'm not arguing you. I think you said correct words.
Thank you.
Wow, what a moment. What an episode. Anyway, here's some ads.
When I moved in with my partner is when I realized how much effort she puts into her skincare. She spends so much time and money just on what she puts on her skin. But the one thing she doesn't invest in is our bedding.
Well, that's because you're now investing in it with Boll and Branch.
From their organic cotton sheets to their breathable pillows and comforters, Boll and Branch makes their bedding with ultra clean materials that are gentle on the skin and free from harsh chemicals.
Boll and Branch really feels like my first grown-up sheets, and you can really feel the difference with their signature sheet sets. Remember, these sheets are touching you for up to 8 hours every single night. You're going to want to have the best sheets possible. Have you noticed that the pockets of the fitted sheets are perfect for forming around the mattress?
This is the first set of sheets that I haven't had to help my partner put them on the bed because the pockets are too small. They are so easy to get on the bed.
These are honestly the first pair of sheets that I have that I don't wake up with my sheets halfway wrapped around me. They are durable, they are soft, and the longer you use them, the softer they become.
Upgrade your sleep with Boll and Branch. Get 15% off your first order plus free shipping at bollandbranch.com/BookTok with code BookTalk, BookTalk.
That's Boll and Branch, BOLLAND, branch.com/BookTalk, and use code BookTalk to unlock 15% off. Exclusions apply. Amy, we were just in New York for BookCon, and did you notice that all of the New York girlies were wearing quints?
You're so right. They were stylish, street appropriate, but also business casual.
It's amazing how I was spotting some of Quince's staple pieces on the street. I can always spot one of their Mongolian cashmeres from a mile away because it's always so soft and so nice. Quince really spends time on making sure they give you the best quality clothing they can with premium materials like 100% European linen, organic cotton, and ultra soft denim.
Their styles make getting dressed simpler. They make me feel effortless, comfortable, and still put together with tops that start at just $30. You can't beat that for work.
Everything at Quince is priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. They work directly with ethical factories and cut out the middlemen, so you're paying for quality and craftsmanship, not brand markup.
Refresh your everyday with luxury you'll actually use. Head to quince.com/BookTalk for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada, too.
That's QUINCE.com/BookTalk, BookTalk, for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/BookTalk. So we had a video that did well. It's from like one of our episodes, I think episode 3. And it's talking about how Reese is in his own head and that in his mind, he is failing everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, in his mind, he's failing Tamlin, he's failing Nesta and Farah. And we're not saying that he's actually failing these people. Other than Farah, he is totally failing her and arguably Nesta. But we're not saying that he's actually failing them, just that where he's at mentally. So would you say, Amy, that's where he's at still mentally? Or is it even worse now?
I think it's even worse.
Yeah.
Because he still had hope for like Helian's library when we were talking about it in episode 3. He doesn't have that anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like he has less and less actual things to hope for or like solutions to hope for.
I wonder if Nesta revealing the truth about Farah wasn't even just as much of like he's mad that she did that, but it's she brought to life his own failings. And again, failings in his mind that he didn't find a solution, not the failing that he didn't tell Farah. I think he knows that that's a failing, that he shouldn't have done that. But I feel like in Reese's mind, his biggest failing to Farah is that he hasn't found a solution yet.
Yeah. I mean, again, Nesta and Reese are mirrors of one another. That's what we keep arguing. He is just as prideful as she is.
Yeah.
Right? There's a level of humiliation in not having the answer.
Yep, it is. My goodness. Our Reese boy. I will say this book has made me more empathetic to him, or our analysis.
Yeah.
I don't want to say that I was over Reese by the end of Wings and Ruin. I think like Mist and Fury Reese is just peak Reese to me. Like when we got Wings and Ruin Reese, it was just like, he loves his girl. I can appreciate that. But
Yeah.
it wasn't like, this is my man type energy. You know what I mean?
Whereas Cassian, I don't think I could ever get sick of.
Never get sick of baby boy. But I think that rereading this with the critical eye is making me appreciate Reese as a character, because he was almost like his own caricature in his own way, like his own stereotype. And I think that this is making him a lot more grounded. Yeah, a lot more depth.
Yeah, I agree.
So that wraps up our random ass breadcrumbs and broomsticks. Next time we're going to read some Spotify comments. Yeah, this is one of those like catch up ones.
Yeah. Next week, we will also discuss the Azrael secret chapter.
Yeah, that'll be a fun, easy one to post online. Is just like, there you guys go.
Tell us what you think.
And if you're listening to this being like, wait, I have thoughts, I want to post. Weeks have passed, my friend. You should have been following us on Instagram.
Chide them, why don't you?
Yeah, have our notifications on alert so that you can catch every single one. Okay, but first, we got a fairy loot order to look at. Also, I'm just like oddly proud of myself. So I like watching people at the gym, guys. I really do. I have like names for everyone in my head, and I was so determined. Like, I just want to know more about people. So I changed the Hinge location to the gym and a small radius within, and then just started like scrolling through guys, and I found one. And I'm very proud of myself. I've achieved nothing. Do I want anything with this human? No, but I got to find them, and that's what matters.
I'm impressed. I am impressed. I was like, damn.
I was really impressed, but the one that I want to find on there, I can't find yet. But Hinge hasn't said that I've gone through all the men in this location yet. So, you know, we got time. Okay, so this one is called The Last Starborn Seer by Venetia Constantine. Marked by a prophetic magic, Leilani is forced into an arranged marriage, already love it, as a deadly curse drives the realms towards ruin. To save Argelia, she must follow a prophecy that will test her power and her heart.
Is it YA?
I know, right? I'm like, is this YA? I don't think so. Oh, adult fantasy box. Fuck yeah. Don't give me an arranged marriage and not show me a sex scene. All right. Yeah. I haven't seen the cover yet.
So pretty.
Oh, that is
so pretty.
That is gorgeous.
Very, very, very pretty. Love it.
Okay, let me open the inside. Ooh.
It's so white. I can hardly. There we go. It's pretty though.
Okay, it's very pretty, I promise. This is the reversible.
Oh, I like that drawing.
Yeah. And then this is the
nice staff wand situation.
Yeah. All right. That's a very pretty one. I started listening to one of our other books that we got, The Swan Daughter.
Oh, yeah.
I like it. It's really cute. I didn't realize it was YA, but I'm not mad about it. It's very kitschy in a way. It's like, it kind of gives me Assistant to the Villain vibes. In the sense of like everything is spelled and enchanted. And then like at one point, the FMC is looking at the prince in his pajamas. And then she's just kind of like, he's in his pajamas. He goes, stop that. And she was like, I'm sorry. He goes, sorry, it's my pants. They try to take themselves off when someone looks. Or, I mean, in one of it, it's like, this isn't spoiling anything, but like certain things have to happen. Otherwise, he's like destined to become a tree, a sentient tree. But he's just like, you know, I haven't really thought about what kind of tree I want to be. Like, do I want to be a maple? Like, it's very funny. Okay, so this is the YA, Her Hidden Fire by Cleodna O'Sullivan. In a world where magic belongs only to the elite, Ada is a servant girl with a hidden power, forced to gamble everything to save the heir she loves.
Yeah.
Right?
I love a power dynamic.
I love saving. I love heirs. I love books. I love books.
I love pretty books.
I love pretty books. It's nice because now I just have like, we're in between books and you guys don't even understand. We are going straight from like Silver Flames into Flame and Shadow. So I'm just trying to like enjoy other books. Like, so we're not doing a book club right away. We're not doing a book club till winter. So I'm just trying to enjoy other books. And I just have a nice giant list of books and that's all the ones that we've done.
Yeah.
Okay. I haven't seen the cover yet.
Ooh.
Oh,
I like that. It's different.
Yeah.
I think she's very pretty. Ooh,
very pretty.
This sprayed edges are super pretty.
There it is. Oh, that's nice.
It's very pretty.
That's nice. It's a dragon on the side. Oh, there's dragons. Oh,
look at the top of the sprayed edges.
Hold on. What is that? What angle?
Looks like a tree.
It is a tree.
It's very pretty.
There are dragons involved in this one.
Or it could be a wyvern. We don't know. Does it have legs?
Has 4.
Okay, dragon.
It's got 4 legs. Anything that doesn't have, like, the 2-legged ones freak me out. I'm not going to lie. That's the inside.
Very pretty. Very pretty.
This is, yeah, awesome. Okay. I will take this one, and you shall take the other one.
Okay.
You seemed
You're
excited
okay with that?
about. Yeah, you seemed excited about the other one.
It's purple. I just like it because it's purple.
I know, I'm a purple little whore. You had such joy, and this is very pretty.
You can have that one if you want it.
No, it's for you, boo-boo. Hey, who did my taxes last night?
I did.
You did. You did my taxes. So you get the pretty book that I did not, neither of us paid for. Podcast paid for it. Fairy Loot isn't sending us shit for free. So,
No.
you know, this isn't sponsored. This is us paying to talk about it for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these books sound amazing. And
super excited.
might do this one for my next read.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, because it's very pretty. And then there's the other one, the like not Fireheart.
I know what you're talking about.
There was one that you have that I was like, that sounds really cool.
Yeah.
So
I can't remember what it's called, but I know what you're talking about.
We've got shit to read. I'm excited. We have things to read while we, I was going to say suffer and struggle through our analysis. And I'm like, you guys, it's not that. It's not suffering or struggling. And it's like, actually, it kind of is.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. Like book club seasons are our summer break or our spring break.
It's easier.
And we can do more with our lives, our personal lives.
Yeah.
Which, you know, we need the balance.
But like around August, we should be able to have some, I say that, we have like 3 concerts we're going to in May. Like we got things that we're doing, but it is a lot of work. I'm excited about it. Listening to it was a lot of, I mean, coming back to the Crescent City world is intimidating because it was like very dense. And her writing style is just so much more complex in this that my favorite writing style is her ACOTAR writing style. And I am not ecstatic to going back to the Crescent City writing style because if you're doing an analysis of it, it's a lot thicker and harder.
Yeah, we're going to have to be very choosy about what we choose to talk about.
Did we say we're doing 10 or 12 episodes of it?
12.
Yeah, that's great. But like, I'm going to start listening to Mist and Fury season because so then that way I can start doing what you're doing with ACOTAR season, collecting notes and clips. Because you're getting clips and fun clips in September and October to get you guys ready for ACOTAR 6.
Woohoo.
Let's wrap this shit up.
Right.
Thanks for listening to Book Talk for Book Talk with Jac and Amy. Join us next week as we dive into chapters 57 through 63 of Sarah J. Maas's A Court of Silver Flames.
If you're enjoying the show, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe on your favorite podcast platform. It really helps other readers find us. And of course, we'd love to hear what you thought of today's episode. Share your comments through our forum at booktalkforbooktalk.com, and we might feature your feedback in a future mini episode or a Patreon exclusive episode.
For merch and more ways to support the show, head to booktalkforbooktalk.com. You can also follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at the handle booktalkforbooktalk. And don't forget to join us as we keep the analysis going by subscribing to our Substack to get more insights into the romantasy and romance genres. Head to the subtextsocietyjournal.substack.com. Bye. Struggling to find the right metabolic wellness support, even when you're doing everything right, has been one of the most frustrating things for me in my health journey.
I've tried other metabolic wellness support providers, and I often feel rejected rather than supported by the process.
That's because Brello is focused on long-term health, longevity, and performance, not quick fixes.
Brello is designed for people who want a more sustainable approach to their metabolic wellness support. Their support helps you focus on habits, education, and structure alongside provider oversight.
Getting my GLP-1 through Brello has been so easy. They make it so effortless, and they provide all the support I need through their app.
Their app is one of a kind in my book because it allows you to track progress, manage reminders, and stay on top of renewals. And if you're like me, managing the renewals is the hardest part.
Everything is managed online, making it easier to stay consistent over time, and medications are delivered to your door. They're so transparent with their pricing with one flat monthly cost. Go to BrelloHealth.com to see if you qualify and explore their GLP-1 plans, starting at $133 per month for your first 3 months, plus access to their app, community, and wellness classes. That's BRELLO health.com.
Any information provided is for informational purposes only and should not be construed as medical advice. It is not a substitute for professional medical consultation, diagnosis, or treatment. All patients must consult with a healthcare provider prior to the prescription or dispensing of any medication, which will be done only pursuant to a valid prescription. Compounded drug products are not FDA approved, and the FDA does not evaluate their safety, effectiveness, or quality. Patients are encouraged to discuss the risks, benefits, and appropriateness of any medications, including compounded products, with their healthcare provider before use. When I moved in with my partner is when I realized how much effort she puts into her skincare. She spends so much time and money just on what she puts on her skin. But the one thing she doesn't invest in is our bedding.
Well, that's because you're now investing in it with Boll and Branch.
From their organic cotton sheets to their breathable pillows and comforters, Boll and Branch makes their bedding with ultra clean materials that are gentle on the skin and free from harsh chemicals.
Boll and Branch really feels like my first grown-up sheets. And you can really feel the difference with their signature sheet sets. Remember, these sheets are touching you for up to 8 hours every single night. You're going to want to have the best sheets possible. Have you noticed that the pockets of the fitted sheets are perfect for forming around the mattress?
This is the first set of sheets that I haven't had to help my partner put them on the bed because the pockets are too small. They are so easy to get on the bed.
These are honestly the first pair of sheets that I have that I don't wake up with my sheets halfway wrapped around me. They are durable, they are soft, and the longer you use them, the softer they become.
Upgrade your sleep with Boll and Branch. Get 15% off your first order plus free shipping at bollandbranch.com/BookTok with code BookTalk, BookTalk.
That's Boll and Branch, BOLLAND, branch.com/BookTalk, and use code BookTalk to unlock 15% off. Exclusions apply. Amy, we were just in New York for BookCon, and did you notice that all of the New York girlies were wearing Quince?
You're so right. They were stylish, street appropriate, but also business casual.
It's amazing how I was spotting some of Quince's staple pieces on the street. I can always spot one of their Mongolian cashmeres from a mile away because it's always so soft and so nice. Quince really spends time on making sure they give you the best quality clothing they can with premium materials like 100% European linen, organic cotton, and ultra soft denim.
Their styles make getting dressed simpler. They make me feel effortless, comfortable, and still put together with tops that start at just $30. You can't beat that for work.
Everything at Quince is priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands. They work directly with ethical factories and cut out the middlemen, so you're paying for quality and craftsmanship, not brand markup.
Refresh your everyday with luxury you'll actually use. Head to quince.com/BookTalk for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. Now available in Canada too.
That's QUINCE.com/BookTalk, BookTalk, for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/BookTalk.